Hi, it's Santi. Well, animated Santi. The real Santi is in Argentina right now visiting family. He doesn't have any of his film equipment with him, so he asked me to take over for this video. You may have noticed I look a little different. I got a redesign. So now I have actual limbs and not just sticks. Still no fingers though. But I digress. Let me tell you a story. And let me preface it by saying that naivete is one of the best attributes a filmmaker can have. Because if I had known what this project would take from the beginning, I never would have started. So, the Santa Barbara International Film Festival has this program/contest where 5 high school and college students are selected as filmmakers, 5 are selected as screenwriters, and they're paired in 2s for filmmakers to direct scripts that the screenwriters write, both with the help of industry mentors. Confused? It doesn't matter. This program is pretty competitive, so in 10th grade when I applied to it, I submitted 2 applications, one for screenwriting and one for filmmaking, thinking it would help my chances of getting selected as either. It did, kind of. I was selected for both. I didn't even know that was an option! And you may be thinking, oh, boo-hoo, you had to make a short film, big deal. But I feel that I should point out that I was the only sophomore director in a sea full of seniors, and that the most advanced film I'd previously done was this, which I shot alone in my garage, and the closest thing I had to experience directing a cast or crew was this, which I made at film camp with a crew of me and 2 other people, all of whom also doubled as the cast, and we shot it on an iPhone. The film that would eventually come out of this had a cast of 4 people, 5 if you count the dog, which I think you should because dogs are way harder to direct than people. Also, a crew that included 1 producer, 2 cinematographers, 1 composer, that didn't work out, more on that later, 2 boom mic operators, and a grip. We also needed lighting, locations, props, set decoration, and a bunch of equipment that I'd never heard of in my life. Also, I didn't comprehend that I needed any of that at the time. I was going in blind. So, with all my naive positivity, I began the process. Step 1, write the script. That's easy enough. I wrote a very Black Mirror-esque story about a family. In it are 2 parents, a 7-year-old kid, and his dead dog. The story starts immediately after the kid's dog is killed in a car accident. It takes place in a universe where the tech exists to bring recently deceased organisms back to life, and the parents must decide how to deal with the situation in a way that's best for their son. It was only after I wrote the script when I was told by my mentors that to have an easy production, it's best to avoid stories with very old people, young children, and animals. Well, at least I don't have any old people. Moving on, I needed a cast and a crew, but I didn't know anyone, so I went with the old put up flyers absolutely everywhere I could method of recruitment. And here's the first of many times where sheer dumb luck allowed this movie to get made. People actually responded. And not only that, the people who responded were exactly who I needed. There was Abel, who was a grade above me. He knew how to use the camera, lights, and gimbal that we would need. So he was the cinematographer / guy I asked every technical question to. And I had a lot of technical questions. There was also Iana, who was friendly and knew how to make spreadsheets. In other words, she became the producer. 1 person showed up to be the boom operator, but then he couldn't do it, so I had to recruit my exchange student roommate for the job, and he was too nice to say no. Up next, auditions. Those actually went pretty smoothly, moving on. We needed to find a lot of stuff. At the top of that list, we needed locations and we needed a dog. For the vet, we found an actual vet's office and asked nicely to shoot there after hours, and that was that. But we still needed to find a house and a dog. Iana found us a house to shoot in, but then, a week before we were set to begin shooting, for reasons out of our control, that house became unavailable. So, with less than a week until our first shoot day, and me scrambling to find any possible location while simultaneously rethinking my life choices, Iana appeared to save me with this solution. Our lead actor, the little kid, had a dog, and not only that, he had a giant house that we could film in. Yay! Sure, things were a little disorganized, and there was still a lot to figure out, but we had a cast, we had a crew, and we had a dog. The first shoot day was upon us. I could do this. It was a disaster. I could not do this. I should probably mention this now. About a month before production began, I was told by Abel, my DP, that I needed to create storyboards and shot lists, and even more important than that, I needed to plan and acquire lighting beforehand. And my little 10th grader brain, overwhelmed with everything else that was flying out of control around me, said, well, that's probably just a suggestion. You don't really need any of that.
Stupid, 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 stupid.
As a result, our entire first shoot day was spent trying to shoot a single 30-second scene outdoors at night, with our only lighting being the cast and crew's phones that we taped around the set. We were scheduled to shoot 2 scenes that night. That didn't happen. But, I told myself, at least we got 1 scene done. Oh? What's that? Every single piece of footage is completely unusable? I see! There's more? This nightmare has only begun? Well then. That sounds like something for a part 2. The story was originally supposed to be 1 video, but the script was getting really long and my drawing hand is begging me for mercy, and like I said earlier, I'm in Argentina visiting my family, so I should probably spend at least some of my time actually visiting my family. Stay tuned for part 2, and also a big announcement. Subscribe and share and all the YouTube stuff, you know the drill. And I'll see you in part 2.